Keystone XL pipeline drama entered a new phase last week after the rejection of a request by TransCanada Corporation to the U.S. State Department to suspend review of its controversial Alberta to Nebraska pipeline was quickly followed by a rejection of the pipeline application itself, for a second time, by U.S. President Obama. This is just the latest move in what has become a 6-year ordeal that has seen as many as 5 environmental reviews, numerous legal challenges, and an initial rejection of the pipeline in 2012 by U.S. President Obama. Ironically though, while TransCanada has been cooling its heels on its Keystone XL proposal for the past 6 years, the oil pipeline business has been positively booming in the United States. According to data set to be released by the Washington, D.C.-based Association of Oil Pipelines, crude oil pipeline construction increased by 9.1% last year alone to reach 106,638 kilometers. More than 12,800 kilometers of oil transmission pipelines have been built in the 5 years between 2009 and 2013 in the US, compared to the 1,400 kilometers TransCanada wants to build in the states of Montana, South Dakota, and Nebraska for its 830,000 barrel per day project. So while people have been debating Keystone in the US, the pipeline industry has already built the equivalent of 9 Keystones, and no one's complained or even asked any questions. There were actually 4 phases of the Keystone Pipeline project, with the first 3 having been already substantially completed. Phase 1 was a 480-kilometer stretch from Hardisty, Alberta to an oil terminal hub at Roxana, Illinois that was completed in June 2010. The Keystone Cushing extension was Phase 2 and ran another 480 kilometers from Steel City, Nebraska to storage and distribution facilities at Cushing, Oklahoma, and was completed in February 2011. Phase 3, the Gulf Coast extension, ran some 784 kilometers from Cushing to refineries at Port Arthur, Texas, and was completed in January 2014, with a lateral pipeline to refineries and a terminal at Houston, Texas, to be completed in late 2015 and become operational a year later. This leaves only Phase 4 of the pipeline to be completed, a section that would essentially duplicate the Phase 1 pipeline between Hardisty and Steel City, with a shorter route and a larger diameter pipe. It would run through Baker, Montana, where American-produced light crude oil from Montana and North Dakota would be added to Keystone's current throughput of synthetic crude and diluted bitumen from the Alberta oil sands. Currently, Keystone XL represents only 4.4% of the 18.84 million barrels of oil consumed by the US each day, and less than 1% of the 93 million barrels of oil consumed by the world on a daily basis. This begs the question of why such a small segment of the oil transportation system in North America has garnered the level of scrutiny and become such an international issue with both environmental and political groups as the Keystone XL pipeline has appeared to become. Some of the concerns involve the risk of oil spills along the pipeline routes that contain highly sensitive terrain and animal and bird species, the potential for water contamination, human health considerations, and of course, climate change. TransCanada itself has provided estimates that the Keystone XL line can expect to have at least 11 significant spills involving more than 50 barrels of crude oil over the 50-year projected lifetime of the pipeline system, although academic critics suggest that a more realistic assessment would be closer to 9 to 10 times as many spills as TransCanada has forecast. But despite the Keystone XL controversy, not a pipeline controversy, but a Keystone XL controversy, pipeline operators in the US, armed with increased shipping commitments, continue with the construction of many projects in order to alleviate existing bottlenecks. Here's hoping that incoming Prime Minister Trudeau has more success than former Prime Minister Harper, who was famously quoted as saying that the approval of the Keystone was a no-brainer and that he wouldn't take a no for an answer from President Obama. The fact remains that pipelines are a very important part of the oil and gas business, and that a roadblock to market access really serves no one, neither producers nor consumers, going forward.